He's really funny, down to earth, cracks jokes. It's like he is a kid. And then when he dismisses us, like to school or lunch or something, he reaches into his pocket and pulls out a red card.
It was important for us to right away sort of set the tone of the factory, because it's obviously in the title. The Chocolate Factory is like a character in the movie. That's where Danny, again, was important to getting the right sense of music and the kind of, fun and slightly subversive. Music's got a little bit of, Oompa Loompa chant, a little bit science fiction, a little bit psychedelic, but a little bit march-like feel to it.
I would take, sounds that were designed to be factory noises, chop them up, turn them into drum sounds, and make them rhythmic and make it part of the main titles. Shakers and pots and pans, industrial sounds.
Well, we went a little over the top with the poorness, but again, it's like a fable. So, I mean, let's put it this way. I wouldn't hire Mrs. Bucket as a house cleaner or Mr. Bucket as a Mr. Fix-It. But, other than that, they're, a great family unit. And, they could use a trip to the dentist, is true. But, I guess it's something for us all to remember. When I'm always talking to an actor, I always, if they like their fake teeth, then I usually end up liking them. There's some people that love their fake teeth. That probably goes back to your childhood. I don't know, putting in fake teeth on Halloween. There was something really kind of amazing and fresh about her, and she had this sort of a kind of a Village of the Damned kind of look to about her that was important, and this ability to be able to kind of look like a little sort of porcelain angel, but then be a complete monster.
She's a really privileged child, and she comes from a really wealthy family and always gets exactly what she wants. So she's really spoilt and selfish.
She's a perfect daughter, especially when she gets what she wants.
Her dad thinks he can just buy her love, but she just takes it for granted and thinks that she's just allowed anything she wants.
Of course, a golden ticket is it's one of the things nobody else in the world can get hold of, so he wants that for his daughter as well. She wants it.
If her daddy says no, then she just won't listen. She'll just go on and lose her temper and start kicking and screaming.
Wanted to find grandparents that, looked old and looked like they hadn't been out of bed in, a long time. And actually getting them all in bed was kind of like a puzzle. I don't know how much time a day was sort of kind of getting them positioned in bed, but they were all great. And finding the right people to kind of really look like a family unit was again important.
I think chewing gum is sometimes a nervous habit. You do it just because it makes you feel good and you're doing something. So I think that's why she chews it.
We like to wear the same clothes in different sizes. But we wear a lot of the same clothes. We do our hair we're very close.
I think in the book he eats two before he gets it. And we just felt like once we got to the reality of the scene, it's like, geez, these are big candy bars. I mean, and Freddie's really little. And if we had him eat two candy bars, A, he'd probably throw up, and B, the audience might kind of get a little sickly. Up until this point, we've only had little bits of color, and we tried to keep the color palette very muted until this moment of coming into the factory. I always remembered in The Wizard of Oz, when you first entered that world and the kind of amazing feeling that had was something that, I think everybody kind of remembers. So in our own way, tried to get a rush of kind of psychedelic color kind of right away. And the first moment that really seemed real appropriate to do that was, the first time, we entered the chocolate room.
The Oompa Loompas, they're so cute. They're these tiny little men. They're about 2 feet tall.
They're these tiny little people in a way, and they have funny hairstyles.
They're just downright tiny and pulling tricks all the time.
They're imported directly from Loompa Land, and Willy Wonka takes them and he uses them in his factory as the workers.
And they sing and dance, and every time a kid does something bad, they sing a song, and it's really funny.
And they're so sweet. Willy Wonka is a bit strange, I think.
You don't really know what to think of him. He always is smiling and happy.
He's actually a couple quarters short of $1.
There are moments when Wonka's acting, and acting badly. I mean, even to where he has to refer to, like, script cards, you know, he thinks, like, oops, what am I supposed to say to them? Oh, yeah, I have the cards. And he goes to the cards.
Well, as Mr. TV, I deeply distrust this guy. He's very weird. Keeps having these strange kind of flashbacks, which I find very strange. He's got this strange hair. Check out the gloves. Did you ask him about the gloves? Very peculiar.
You don't know where he's from quite. He's got a top hat, so he could, and a cane, so he could be Fred Astaire. I mean, he's a lot of different things.
He's still like a kid in a lot of ways. He always gets really excited like a kid and talks like a kid.
He's just very, very strange and kind of otherworldly, and I don't really like Mr. Wonka.
One of the things I remember about the book was the squirrel sequence, and it just made a lot of impact on me because there's something about squirrels that I find really terrifying.
Squirrels are clever animals, but they're extremely wild. They don't like to be handled. They're flighty. They're a really challenging animal to work with.